shit.
This is the Weird Shit Podcast.
Is that a joint?
And I wouldn't flaunt your ignorance.
Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
That's that good shit.
I want to believe.
Some words just have too many fucking syllables.
Sovereignistic. I'm done. That's all I got.
That's all I got left.
Sovereignistic deeds and nuts.
You guys, you guys know what's kind of fucking crazy? If you Google
Hitler.
search, well, yeah, obviously.
Okay.
He was on a lot of meth. If you Google search Mike Boudet, we are the first result on
Nice.
Google. Like our episode is the first result on Google.
Ah.
I'm like, hi. So, now we're going to do a bit of a bonus episode. We've had people sending us questions. They want to ask us shit. And I'm like, alright. We can answer some questions. Why not? So, the first
Who's
question...
Wait, who's Mike Boudet?
Yeah, I just Googled it. You're right.
Yep. So our first question comes from Chris.
What up?
I probably won't do the names for every one of these because there are a lot, but I'll do the
Rapid
names
fire.
for some of them. Yeah, I mean, otherwise I'll
How do you
blow my
spell
fucking
Chris?
voice out.
K.
It's CHRIS, Chris.
No weird letters.
Q.
No,
Fake name.
fake name. So
Chad.
Chris' question is, what's your favorite conspiracy that you believe in, and what evidence? And what's your favorite conspiracy that you think is total bullshit? So, who wants to take this one first?
What was that episode we did towards the beginning? That I was like, yeah, I could see this one being real.
Was it the,
I don't remember what it was about. I just remember like you guys were just shitting on me because I was like, yeah, no, this one could be real.
that sounds like Flat Earth. I remember you did that on the Flat Earth one. You're like, I'm kind of sold on this. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
I think it was flat. It was either flat Earth.
It is probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe in any conspiracy theories personally, but
Yeah.
that one's hilarious. I like that one so much.
What about you, Ryan?
God, we've done so many. It's hard to remember them all. I don't know if I could pick a favorite. Our crazy shenanigan theories that we come up with. The Carthaginians. I don't know. I feel like one of my favorite things is Elder Shamu. That's definitely been one of the best things.
I wish I could remember
Yeah.
anything.
Theory that I think is bullshit. Yeah, flat Earth. I mean, what the fuck? I just want to. Most conspiracy theories are like kind of fun, and I can give some people some leeway, some benefit of the doubt. But on flat Earth, I want to shake people.
I think the one that I think is the most bullshit would be not going to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one just
That's a
come
tough
on.
one. That's a tough one for me to pick between those two.
I like Flat Earth because you immediately know the people are absolutely retarded. But they're so fun to listen to because they just come up with the most amazing stories. And none of their theories ever link up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever. It's awesome. The only thing they have in common is, yeah, the Earth's totally flat. It's not a 2D plane for some of them. Some of them it's a half dome. Some of them it's like, some of them it's just a plane, like a flat plane. There's no depth to it, and yet then you're like, what about rivers and mountains and oceans? They're like, nah.
Those are all the
No,
same.
yeah, we're 3D on a 2D plane, so it kind of makes sense. And you're like, what?
You got to think about it quadrilaterally.
Yeah. You're not adding in quantum physics.
Flat.
flat. It's flat, man.
flat.
Just don't worry about it. It's flat.
My favorite conspiracy that we covered is probably the RFK assassination because it all fucking lines up so perfectly. Like it's so fucking cut and dry to me. Like what happened to RFK?
Who's RFK?
Robert Kennedy. Like,
I don't think he's written that one. That was the case file.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's like the only one you weren't on, I think.
I do definitely believe in that one, like
I think-
pretty much completely.
I don't think you guys did that. That's fake.
Doesn't count.
That's fake news.
That's fake news.
Fake
Well,
podcast.
when we get around to JFK, you're definitely going to be on JFK.
Because all I do is shoot Jays.
What?
I mean, I don't do that.
All I do is win.
You win no matter what. So, the next question comes from CJ. It's
What up?
How you spell it?
Q,
QP
banana peel,
Batman symbol.
ampersand, hibiscus.
It's CJ. It's spelled SEAG. CJ.
What?
I don't know, man.
G's and J's, they're the same, right?
Oh wait. CEA-GAY.
It's Gaelic.
CJ.
So CJ's question is it's the fuck, marry, kill game. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, or Mothman. So you have to choose one of those three to fuck,
Well,
one to
okay.
marry, and one to kill.
So one to fuck, marry, and kill between Mothman.
Loch Ness
Bigfoot.
Monster and Bigfoot.
Well, okay, so I would have to kill Loch Ness Monster, mount it as a trophy, and then I would definitely marry Bigfoot. 'Cause, I mean, he's probably really cuddly. And you know, Mothman seems like he'd be gentle.
He'd be an attentive lover.
He'd be a good lover.
He has that the psychic mind powers or whatever too, so he could like wipe your brain
well,
after.
Well, think about it. No, like he could pick us up. We could have sex mid-air.
Oh my
would be
god,
dope.
that would be magical.
Or it'd be probably more like rape, but I mean,
Like the places his proboscis could go.
I could show you the world.
Oh
I'm
god.
not going to though. I'm gonna show you Cleveland.
Oh, you did.
Welcome to West Virginia. Ah! So, honestly, I agree with all those. That's the same order I would probably pick. Because you could physically have sex with either the Mothman or Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Physically, you just can't do it with the Loch Ness Monster, so it makes sense to kill him.
Plus all those teeth.
Yeah, all those teeth.
Plus, I feel like he's a danger.
And he's got that lizard brain.
Exactly.
What if the Loch Ness Monster was the original lizard person? He fucked someone and they started becoming lizard people.
My god. You're probably right.
You're right.
So, the next question comes from Fiona.
What up?
What up, Fiona? It's, what was the conspiracy that first got you into them? For me, it was the 9/11 conspiracy, because, like, I had watched, like, a bunch of shit on, like, 9/11, because it was, like, a big traumatic event for me, like, growing up, like, remembering when it happened, so I was, like, always thought it didn't seem right, you know? Like, it seemed, like, weird, so, yeah, that was my first ones,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if alien abductions count, but that...
Or the Roswell cover-up, maybe?
Yeah, something like that probably was
Yeah.
when I was like a kid. Yeah, probably Roswell, I guess, would have been the first thing that made me
Yeah.
interested.
I think for me, I was in high school and in 12th grade I took AP US Government and Politics because it was the easiest AP class at school. It was
Yep.
just everybody did it because it was a free grade.
Yep.
But the teacher we had for it made it just fucking hilarious. His name was Coach Parr. He was the football coach, and he was obsessed with JFK.
Oh, yeah?
The JFK assassin. He swore up and down he knew who it was, and all. We watched at least 10 different documentaries about JFK in the class. Like,
He's just doing the shit from Always Sunny, like up on the board with like connecting all the dots and shit.
Like, we were supposed to be learning, but instead, all you had to do was mention JFK, and then for the next week, he'd be on a tangent about JFK, and you would just derail the whole class for a whole week. So
those are always the best teachers, the ones who you could just go off on a tangent by throwing out their trigger word.
So for me, it was probably JFK because it was not necessarily because it was like, oh shit, this is fascinating. It was like, hell yeah, let's get my teacher super distracted by this conspiracy that he believes in. And then it was just like, I got to see someone going absolutely batshit insane believing in one of these ridiculous conspiracy theories. He told us that it was a French guy that did it. He told us the name, I can't remember. He said it was a French guy who's in a French prison right now serving life sentence and being protected by the U.S. government.
I can totally see that.
That's why he's in a French prison.
Can't trust a Frenchman. That's a fact.
He told us the name. I'm never going to be able to remember it because that was like 12 years ago.
It was probably Jean-Pierre Baguette, some shit like that.
It was
something real French like.
He's wearing like the French hat with the striped shirt.
He's in like the mime outfit.
Yeah, he's like on the grassy knoll with a big ass fucking baguette.
He's a fucking mime. He doesn't even have a real gun.
He's just using the baguette.
It's the invisible bullet.
It's a baguette.
He's using the baguette. And he's just like reloading the baguette silently.
He's on the grassy knoll having a goddamn picnic, and he pulls out the bread. They're like, never gonna suspect it. Boom! And it shoots a crouton right through his skull.
No, he like does it right at the same moment where he actually gets shot. He's like, oh shit!
He immediately turned himself into French authorities, and they just thought he was completely insane.
Like, look at the video evidence, and he shows them a video of him doing it. He goes, "Look, I accidentally killed him.
It was me.
It was me.
Thought it was a blank.
I didn't know the baguette was loaded." So, the next question we have here is, do you have any personal weird experiences? Whether they be paranormal, UFO sightings, anything.
My first thought was, I'll just make some up, like, I hate a sock. that was weird, right?
That is weird.
That's pretty weird.
Let's not talk about that.
Are you like part gnome? That's the only explanation.
No, I don't think I've had anything weird happen to me.
Never.
Just amnesia. Constant amnesia.
So during those constant blackouts, there's probably all sorts of weird shit.
Your brain is a mystery known not even to itself.
Least of all.
I am a man trapped in his own labyrinth of a brain. Can't find his way out.
That's pretty weird, man.
The man who knew too much and also too little.
I have a mind palace, like from Sherlock, but it's like a labyrinth that I can't solve it. I have all the information.
It's literally just a circular room that, like, there's like doors painted on the walls, but you can't open any of them.
It's a mind palace, but it's just one of those marshmallow rooms for crazy people. And I'm just in there with a straight jacket, like spewing random facts.
So what about you, Ryan?
Alright, so the weirdest thing that ever happened to me was in the late 90s. I was very I could never sleep, so I was up at like 3 in the morning playing StarCraft on my dad's laptop. No one else awake in the whole neighborhood. Everything's dead quiet. And all of a sudden, from right, maybe 3 feet to my left out the window, I just hear whomp, whomp, whomp. And it's fucking loud as shit. It's practically shaking the house. And you could hear it getting closer, passing directly overhead. Whomp, whomp, whomp. It was so loud that I was like, there ain't no fucking way I'm looking out this window right now. If I do, I'm getting snatched up by something. I'm staying right here.
That's how people get abducted.
I'm staying right here on my StarCraft. You know, about 10 minutes later, it had faded to nothing. And I looked out the window, there was nothing. And then I just went back to playing StarCraft. I was fucking terrified for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's fucking scary. I had like a similar thing happen to me when I was like 14, where I was like trying to sleep. and all of a sudden I hear that like wah wah, like you were talking about, that like pulsing. It's like a pulsing hum, but it was like vibrating me.
Yep.
Like I could feel my body vibrating with it, which was weird. Yeah. So I had a massive erection.
So you open the window, just naked.
Yeah, just naked.
Take me.
I was like, take me, aliens.
We had very different reactions.
You're just like struggling to open the window from the intense orgasm you're having. Just like.
Like Ryan said he didn't go to his window. I literally like opened my front door and was like looking out, trying to see if I could see anything, but I could feel like the vibrations for sure. And then like my dad came out of his room and he's like, "Hey, are you fucking hearing this right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what the fuck is that?" Nothing. I don't remember anything else after that. I just remember waking up the next day.
Nope.
So that's kind of weird.
That's pretty damn weird.
So,
Isn't your dad an anesthesiologist?
yeah, maybe he knocked me out.
Anastasia.
Hit you with some of that stasia.
Stasia.
Yeah, that pocket stasia.
Pocket stasia. So, let's see here. What are your views on interdimensional cross-species relations? What do you think Bigfoot meat would taste like? This is from Jordan.
Oh, I thought you were going sexual with that.
Well, I think that's what the first one is. What are your views?
It's 2 different questions.
Yeah, what are your views on interdimensional cross-species relations?
I mean, $20 is $20.
20 space bucks is 20 space bucks.
Yeah,
That's the most elegant way to put it.
I mean, if they got them big old alien titties, what up?
Yo, what up, alien girl?
Yeah, if we're talking like gray men, nah. But if we're talking like Asari or something, yeah, okay.
Or that one that the guy bit the nipple off of in our alien abduction episode. That'll probably be fine.
Star Trek aliens? Like
Twi'lek, Asari.
Big feet.
Talking about some Romulans.
Yeah, like where they're pretty much human, but they got like an extra ridge or
They
something.
they're completely human from the neck down. They just have some weird facial feature that you gotta get past.
Yeah, we can work with that.
So, the next question is, what do you think Bigfoot meat would taste like?
Chicken.
Long pig.
Long pig. I think that Bigfoot meat, if I'm going to be perfectly serious here, I think it would probably taste like wild boar meat, because people supposedly taste like pork. So it would make sense that a Bigfoot that is like, he would be gamier and he would be like stringier because he's like out, like working out all the time.
Yeah.
That's probably logical and all, but pretty sure he's gonna taste like rhinoceros.
Which honestly
I don't know
just
what
tastes
that
like, it tastes like a grayer chicken or like a grayer like ferret.
You taste colors?
Yeah.
What?
Doesn't everybody?
Nah, man.
I smell colors.
I smoke green. With which cryptid would you most like to smoke a bowl?
Who?
Cryptid. Like,
I don't know what that is. Pass.
Is that like the dude from Tales from the Crypt?
Yes.
I wouldn't want to hang out with him.
I would smoke a bowl with probably sheep squatch. I'm curious, man. I gotta see, like,
Wait, so
I want
what-
to see a giant sheep. That's gotta be cool.
What is this?
What cryptid would you most like to smoke a bowl with? So cryptid is like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, Yeti, Chupacabra. Oh, Chupacabra would be dope. He probably knows how to make tacos.
Elder Shamu for me.
Elder Shamu?
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
I want him to teach me the ways of...
It's basically a paranormal animal.
Does it have to be an animal?
It has to be like less than human intelligence.
Intelligence?
I think. Well, nah, maybe Mothman's as smart as a person. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Can I small? I would smoke with like a whole group of gnomes.
That would be
fucking
dope.
dope. Just make them fight each other. Like
Give them like little spears and shields and shit.
We would smoke a blunt and we would reenact
300.
7 dwarfs. I would be fuck.
You'd be Snow White.
Snow White, yeah, I'd be Snow White. I'd be Snow White scientist.
If cryptids had to go to high school, which ones would belong to what cliques?
Again, I don't know.
I think Bigfoot would be a jock.
No
I
way.
think Mothman would be in the AV
No,
club.
see, that's backwards.
Why?
Dude, Mothman can fly.
Yeah, but Bigfoot is strong. Mothman is like
Bigfoot's a big old teddy bear. And
Yeah.
he clearly never cuts his hair, so he's
Bigfoot
gonna-
is like
he's
gentle
gonna
and
be like-
elusive.
He would be like the nerdy kid that no one wants to fuck with.
I think he's like the trench coat loner.
Yeah.
I
I could see teenage Bigfoot coming to school with a fedora on.
I could see that. That's unfortunate.
My hairless dudes.
It's unfortunate, but I could totally see that. But see, I think the fedora one would be Spring Heel Jack because his dick is always out.
I feel like he would be the one, like the bad boy, the one that is always getting
The
in trouble.
drug dealer. He's
Yeah.
the drug dealer.
He's the one that's always in detention.
I feel like
It's
Chupacabra
funny.
would be like a gangbanger.
Yep, he's the cholo.
That would be amazing.
Exactly.
He's the lead cholo. Gnomes are just the.
Hey man,
Gnomes are the. Fucking,
hey man, you got any more of them sheep?
God, the drama club. Gnomes are just all the drama club.
They're just doing Shakespeare.
To be or not to be.
For is it better?
It was nobler.
So, let's see. Which paranormal related TV show is your favorite?
Supernatural.
Supernatural?
I don't have one.
I'm gonna probably go with Ghost vs. Bros or Ghost Adventures. Me and Robert call it Ghost vs. Bros because there are a few things that are more fun than like getting stoned and like listening to them freak out about EVPs. Like they'll be like, dude, bro, dude, did you hear that, dude, bro,
Dude, bro.
that sound, bro, I'm freaking out, bro, dude, my skin, bro, like just like the whole fucking episode. And you're just like, yeah, man. Yeah, I see. I understand what you're saying. Otherwise, it's like listening to gibberish.
Ghost is like, hey, what's up, buddy? And they're just like, I'm not your buddy, guy.
Back off, bro. Would you rather have a pet chupacabra or be the pet of a family of Bigfoot?
Be the pet.
Be the pet, 100%.
100% be the pet.
Pet life. I'd be like a fucking dog.
Do I want to be the pet of a spacefaring advanced race?
The-
Hell yeah.
The only downside is if they neuter me.
I mean, they'll give you a mate. If they pick you out a mate and then they feed you
They'll
like
dequal
every
you.
day, like who cares?
Be like living with an old school Indian family that forces you to marry somebody you don't know.
Exactly.
not
You
that
two are
different.
now mates, and you're just like,
Whoa.
hey, I'm Alex.
I like long walks on the beach.
I don't like going to the vet.
she's like,
I can play fetch.
she's like, ugh, I have a boyfriend. You're like,
bad.
God damn it.
Is it me? Is it me? Looking for.
Oh,
I can see it in your
I can see it in your smile. Would you rather be probed by an alien or have sex with a Bigfoot?
Sex with a Bigfoot.
Sex with a Bigfoot. I'd rather be probed. It might not be a violation. It might be the dick cup. You might get the dick cup.
Is there like women Bigfoot?
Probably.
I mean, if it's gonna be a woman Bigfoot, then yeah, I'd have sex with a Bigfoot woman.
I mean, they didn't specify that it had to be gay sex with a Bigfoot.
I'm
So-
down to clowning some hair.
I mean, it wouldn't be that different for you because of that fucking beard. So it'd
Hide
be
the
like,
pickle in the hair sandwich.
long hair don't
But yeah,
care.
I mean, what kind of probing though? That's the other thing. Like,
It could just be the dick cup. You don't know. It might not be butt stuff.
is it
It's butt
just
stuff.
like?
We all know it's butt stuff. It's always butt stuff.
Am I gonna wake up super sore?
We don't know. Like,
As long as I'm not awake.
That's your one.
Maybe you're not awake for either of them.
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'll take both. I choose both.
Where is the sheet so I can sign up for these?
How much is this gonna pay?
We have a question here from listener Alex. It's
What?
who's your favorite host and why is it me?
Oh, Brian. No. Because I wrote the question.
Let's see. Do you think whatever human-like creatures that inhabit other dimensions tell scary stories about humans like we do about monsters?
Nah.
No. I think that'd be fucking dope.
I think the only reason that they wouldn't is because we don't have the means to even see them that we know of anyway. Like, we wouldn't be able to teleport to their dimension or anything like that to be like, oh, look, a weird race of aliens. And they go, ah, that hairless thing's talking at us. There's none of that. I mean,
So this one says, for all, circumcised or uncircumcised? Which I am not going to answer that question, but it says also, yeah, we could answer it about Bigfoot. Okay, so do big feet have circumcisions?
well, no.
I mean, okay, solved. What about a chupacabra?
No.
No.
I don't think there's a doctor out there going around like, hey, big feet.
You don't think chupacabra could be Jewish?
You trying to masturbate less? I got that solved.
I got you, bro. So, they also say, also, can you say hi to Paige for me? Yo, what up, Paige?
What's up, Paige? Who's Paige?
I don't know. They just said it. Yo, Paige.
Who said it?
We might not know who you are at this particular moment in time, but we are glad that you are listening.
Who said it?
Whoever sent that question.
Yeah, who said that question?
Is
I
it
don't
Paige?
have the name.
Slacker.
I wonder if it's Paige.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's not Paige.
Fucking conspiracy theory. Opinion.
Hey,
Can you do a
Paige.
shout out to myself?
Yo, Mike, you ever gonna do live shows? I mean, I think that would be fun.
I'm down.
I don't know how.
I don't know
how are we
would-
supposed to get
Aren't we live right now?
listeners? Yeah, I mean technically, I'm alive.
How
How are we gonna get any kind of listeners at 12 o'clock on a Monday? I don't think anybody's gonna be like, yeah, let's listen.
I think maybe if we ever reach the point where we can like take time off work to like go somewhere and do a show, we could do a show. That'd be cool. But
Coming to you live from Area 51.
yeah, dude, I would fucking love that shit so much.
So far, we've only seen 4 aliens. Kind of disappointed.
They also asked, and will you come to the UK if you do? Yeah, probably. That's
You
the
guys
dream.
have, you guys have like an area.
Why don't you just ask us to go to fucking like Mogadishu or some
I
shit?
mean, it's better than going to France.
It's true.
And I've been to France. So.
I've been to London, and I've seen the
I've been to
Queen's
London.
Underpants.
I've been to France. I've seen some underpants. Mostly my own.
These are the facts of life. So, if you met an alien, what's the one thing you'd insist on them experiencing?
Like they came to Earth to vacation.
Yeah, and we gotta do something with them. Like,
I'm
we
gonna
gotta
go-
be like, dude, if you're on Earth, you gotta do this.
Do we
Hazing.
have like infinite ability to travel wherever we want?
Yeah, sure.
Mexico, getting them some tacos.
Yeah, get them some tacos.
Getting them
That's a good
getting
one.
Some tacos.
Human trafficking.
I think what I would rather have them experience is just be like, yeah, you totally need to go see all these things that I want to go see. No, don't worry. They're awesome. But I want to go eat a baguette.
I would get really high and I would watch Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's what I would do. I'd be like, yo, aliens,
do you watch
you
that
wanna see something dope? Come in here and check this shit. And I'd get high with them and I'd watch Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I would tell them to hit this, and they go,
They go,
this ain't shit.
Like, yo,
And then they whip out the alien bong, or it's like some kind of
that red weed.
It's like a vaporizer, but it's like
just melts your
an
face
alien
off.
vaporizer, and they put like one little fleck of weed in there, and it just kills you.
You just take a tiny hit and your
You
face melts
somehow
off.
overdose on marijuana.
And they're like, can't hold your space weed.
Look at this fucking retard.
What a fucking chode.
Chad.
Would you rather have an encounter with a succubus or a vampire?
What kind of encounter?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Like a random encounter?
Like, am I gonna be in like a fist fight?
I feel like vampires have a higher CR than succubus, so.
I'm assuming. I'm assuming it
They both
means
suck.
like a.
That's true. That's very true.
I'm guessing they're talking sexual, but I like the way you're thinking.
Oh, sexual? Vampire.
Vampire.
No, but not. Wait, is it a woman?
The
Or is there
succubus is definitely a woman
Is there
because
some
the
butt
male
stuff?
version is an incubus, but
How much butt stuff?
probably a lot. They are demons.
Both.
So, if you had to spend a week as a cryptid, what would you be, why, and what would you do? A fucking gnome? I would be a gnome. Can I be a gnome, please?
I'd go live out in the woods, scaring hikers.
Yeah, I'd be a Bigfoot and just travel to all the different dimensions.
I would be a gnome, and I would create world peace through my iron fist. That's what I would do.
Brought peace and justice to my new gnome empire.
Go be like a
Your
Bigfoot.
new gnome empire.
Just go be a Bigfoot.
From my
But
point
only-
of view, it's the trolls that are evil.
Only reveal yourself when you spot someone with a really shitty camera.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that guy has like this old
Then I
ass...
do like the shuffle thing.
And you do like a really weird walk where you're just like... Totally not just a dude in a suit.
I'd love to be able to like just fucking like Iron Man a tank. Just let's punch through the tank as like this little bitty gnome. Be so amazing. 7 times the strength of a man. The ability to run at 30 miles an hour. Just flat
Devastatingly
out.
powerful.
I cannot overstate how horrifying these creatures are.
I'm just imagining a bodybuilder gnome, and he's like benching, what would that be? 4,900 pounds.
Dude, the gnome would rip his shirt off and he would look like Broly from Dragon Ball Z.
He would be Chad.
A 248 pack.
He's a 300-pound gnome, all muscle.
He's just all packs. His whole everything is just packs
It's just
on
like
packs.
a bicep with a little gnome head on it, just floating around.
No, dude, it's totally a bicep. Oh, you mean the dick flyer?
Dick flyer?
If you could own one cursed object or artifact, what would it be and why?
Does any like make up a curse or?
I don't know. It says a cursed object or artifact, so like I'd assume like Lizzie Borden's axe or like the Ark of the Covenant or
James Dean's
stuff
car.
like that. James Dean's car, yeah.
No, that's my choice.
That's the only one you're gonna think of. So you're like James Dean's car.
I can't think of too many cursed objects.
I would keep.
What about like those vases from like the cat ones from The Mummy?
Oh yeah.
Where they weren't really that big of a deal until someone broke them open, and they were like, "Oh man, now we're gonna die."
And he's gonna come like open his face at you and like sucks your face onto his face.
Then you get
Turns
eaten
you
by
into some weird
scarabs.
sand.
Mm-hmm.
Get eaten by scarabs and shit.
He casts sandstorm.
They-
And all you hear is
And Darude.
all you hear is fucking music. That's what you hear as he's approaching. Oh no. He's
It's like the sun.
This is the mummies coming down the street with glow sticks.
They're here.
let's see.
That's one hell of a curse.
I have a question. How does it feel to be the target of Buday's hatred and bullying? Obviously, I know the answer, but it'd be a good question to answer.
I don't know who that is.
I honestly do not care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I give a shit, honestly. But, yeah, I don't give a shit. So, what's your go-to munchie snack?
Oreos.
Anus. No,
Just a big sack of chocolate buttholes that you keep next to the computer.
I'd be Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids?
I could eat that or pizza rolls.
Yeah, pizza rolls.
Okay, yeah, I've been changed it to pizza
I
rolls.
was going to say, pizza rolls sounds more like you.
I could eat a whole oven full of pizza rolls.
And have done so.
Yeah. I have watched you do it. My go-to munchie snack is probably Cheetos. Honest to God.
Nice.
If I have a bag of Cheetos, I will eat the entire bag of Cheetos before I even notice.
It ain't easy.
It's cheesy. Slam my fist into the table. Fuck! Neil Peart is the best fucking drummer ever.
I'm gonna have to get some pizza rolls.
And last but not least, we have, what would you take on a ghost hunting expedition?
My katana. Nice.
I would take.
I don't have one.
I would take a talking dog and 3 teenagers. That's what I would do.
Inferno pistol.
Okay, a ghost hunting expedition.
Yeah,
A camera.
that's probably a good idea.
A flashlight. Some extra underwear.
A ghost type Pokemon, because they're the only ones that can hit other ghost types.
Nice.
So you have to have a ghost type, otherwise every damage you do is not very effective.
And Alex Jones.
Oh, hell yeah.
Alex Jones can solve all the world's problems.
Oh, we're going to this building over here. Hello, ghosts.
There's literal goblins in here.
I am a living person. This is what we look like.
There is nothing in here.
This is what we act like.
Goblins!
You are a literal ghost.
Is he one of those creatures? The
Cryptids?
Cryptids? Is Alex Jones a cryptid?
Yes, 100%.
I changed my answer.
You're like, I would rather be Alex Jones for a day.
Can it be for longer than a day?
Unfortunately, it said a day.
Worth it.
Worth it. So, I also got a new listener story here. This one comes to us from Indira. It says, in 2004, we moved to Pink House in Salt Lake City suburb of Sugar House.
Like into a pink house, or is that like a community?
It sounds like Pink House is a thing.
Huh.
Like a thing people would know
That's weird.
if they're from Salt Lake City. According to public parcel property listings, the house was built around the turn of the century in 1920. I was in 6th grade. My little sister was in 4th grade. It sounds like it would be a strip club. The Pink House. My parents worked full-time, and we would spend a few hours home alone each day after school until my parents got home. It was right after school, so it was still early in the afternoon, around 3 or 4 p.m., so it's not like it was dark and spooky. Initially, we never felt afraid. We were never fearful kids anyway. We were never frightened of monsters in our closets or the darkness underneath our beds. Maybe this was because previously we'd lived in an apartment complex and my sister and I shared a bunk bed. In this new house, we each got our own rooms, which was exciting. I got a large bedroom in the basement. It was very spacious, even bigger than my parents' bedroom, but I think I got that room because no one else wanted to sleep in the basement. It's a pretty good guess. My room had a small window which looked directly out into the backyard and a little wood shed with white peeling paint located in the corner of the yard. It was an exciting time for our family and we loved our new house, but soon really strange and frightening things began to happen. It began with small, subtle things like footsteps above my bedroom. I could hear very distinctly someone walking across the kitchen and into the living room. It usually meant my parents were home, and I would run up and ask what was for dinner. Even when I could hear the footsteps at night, I wasn't afraid at first, because I thought it was probably my mom and dad getting a drink of water or something from the kitchen in the night. But I began to feel a little unnerved when one day, not too late in the evening, I heard footsteps, and I thought my mom was home. I ran upstairs, like I normally did, only to realize my parents weren't even home. In fact, I was the only one at home. My sister wasn't home yet from school either.
Oh.
That's a ghost right there. You need to call Alex Jones and Scooby-Doo. Russ the Ruse, Raggy. Chill out, Scoob.
Goblins.
Riddle Roblins. I began to notice the footsteps more at night after that. I'd hear the footsteps, go upstairs, and there'd be no one awake. Once I noticed this, it's like the house knew I knew something was not right, and things got worse. My door to my room would unexplainably open in the middle of the night, as in a basement with sealed windows, and the house did not have AC, which could explain the door being opened by a draft. Being an old house, the doors were such that the doorknob had to be turned in order for the door to open. I began to have really strange, disturbing dreams which took place inside the house, including one where I was on the second floor looking down into the basement where there was a pit of writhing and moving people and animals, and all of them looked and sounded like they were in agony. It was very unnerving to wake up from a dream like that in the middle of the night in the basement itself. I could hear what sounded like whispering and sometimes sobbing coming from the air vent above my bed in the day and at night.
I'm just imagining the whispering like, "Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear."
Where do you see my dick? No!
Where do you see my dick? Yeah,
No,
bitch.
not
Where do you see
again.
my dick?
I don't want to see it
I'ma
again.
beat that pussy up. Like, bam, bam, bam. Okay.
I would believe I was losing my mind if it wasn't for the fact that everyone in my family experienced something while we lived in this house. My sister would also hear strange things. She slept upstairs, and her bedroom also overlooked the backyard. She would say she would hear what she described as dragging sounds coming from the little white shed in the corner.
I thought you said dragon. I was like, dope.
It's just
She was hearing
Godzilla
something
noises.
like a dragon, like.
It's Sean Connery, like, whispering to her.
Hello, my dear.
You look very beautiful this evening.
Feed me your gold. I am hungry.
Would you like
I
to
am a
see my
dragon.
penis?
Did you see Dragonheart? It's a good movie.
I was a dragon in that movie.
It was dope. The strange thing is that I never heard these sounds, even though our bedrooms were on top of each other and overlooked the same backyard. My dad says he would hear us calling his name like we were calling for help while he was in the shower. He'd stop the water and get out quickly, only to find that he was home alone. The phone began to ring in the middle of the night, around 1, 2, or 3. My mom would answer, and there would be no answer, just ambient noise. Once during the day, the phone rang, and I answered. It sounded like frantic, muffled whispering, and I got so scared I hung up the phone. The phone rang again almost immediately. I told my parents what happened, and they unplugged the phone from the wall.
And then it still rang.
Now looking back as an adult, I think that's a strange reaction. I'd
That's what I
probably,
would do.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'd fucking do. I'd throw it out the window after I did it too. Be like, shh, ksh. All right, kids, we need a new phone and a new window.
Listen to me, you piece of shit. Why the fuck are you calling me?
I have
What
a
if-
particular
what if-
set of skills.
What if it was like some boy finally getting the courage to call her, and he's just like, "Hey, it's this is Alex.
Who are you?
Oh,
Leave my
God.
family alone!
Hang up and like,
rips it out the wall.
yeah, and then like the next time you pick up and you do that, you're like, "Why the fuck are you calling? Listen here, you little shit!" And then you never heard from that kid ever again. You just scared someone off.
I'd
Some
probably
city
answer and tell
is
the
still
person to
scared.
stop calling or address it, but I think my parents were scared too. Yeah. My mom brought a priest to bless our house. The priest refused to bless an unoccupied room next to my bedroom. And in that bedroom, there was a large painting of Jesus Christ and the Sacred Heart. The priest said he would not bless that room because the painting had been changed to mock Christ. The painting was removed, and he blessed the rest of the house. Weird stuff kept happening for the remainder of the 4 years we lived there. Playing in the backyard, my sister and I found a knife buried deep in the dirt. My sister and I found creepy little toys, a vintage Hot Wheels car, a tiny doll, a red and black checkered box, in the rafters of the basement and in the little shed.
Yeah, somebody got murdered in that house.
Yeah, somebody was killing little kids in that house.
And that name? Jesus Christ.
We could not explain how they got there. We had never seen about the property. An abandoned house in a field behind our house was set on fire numerous times until it was finally demolished.
How do you demolish a field?
It was at times fun to tell our
Abandoned
friends
house.
about all the strange things that
like
happened,
beating a
but it
field
was
with a
also
hammer.
very scary.
Take this, you fucking field.
The last thing that happened a few nights before we moved out was really amazing. My sister and I experienced it together at the same time, so I know I wasn't seeing or hearing things. We were in the living room, talking in the middle of the night, in the dark, so as not to wake up our parents. Normally we would secretly watch TV, but tonight we were just talking about how we were moving out and we would miss the house, even though it was creepy, and recounted all the weird things that happened over the years. Then our conversation was literally interrupted mid-sentence by stomping coming from the kitchen. We thought we got busted for staying up late by one of our parents, and they were probably coming to scold us and tell us to go to bed. Instead, the loud, heavy footsteps coming from the kitchen behind us stopped abruptly. I said, "Pa," loudly. Immediately, we heard running through the kitchen and down the stairs, into the basement. A door slammed so hard the window shook upstairs in the living room where we were sitting.
I think that some like angsty teenager died at this house, and it was just upset that you guys called it creepy.
Yeah.
I am not creepy. And then ran to its room, which happened to be the basement. Slammed the door.
My sister and I looked at each other in shock. We knew we both heard it. At this point, we were sort of defiant about it all. I got up, turned on all the lights. I tried to wake my parents by knocking on their door, but they didn't answer. I thought about it and realized how stupid I would sound.
They were boning.
Woken up in the middle of the night to another ghost story. I could imagine my dad rolling his eyes and saying, "Go to bed." So instead, my sister and I went into the basement by ourselves. The door to the mysterious empty room next to my bedroom was ajar, and although all the light in the house had been turned off, the light bulb in that room was turned on. We'd been told not to go into that room by my dad because it had a false wall that had a small space, like a very narrow hallway behind it. To this day, we don't know what was back there.
Corpses.
Or why my dad told us not to go back there because he was filling it with corpses. Maybe I'll ask him over Thanksgiving dinner this weekend.
Don't do it.
He will immediately put you in that wall. Once we moved out, we never had any more paranormal experiences of any kind, even though my parents currently reside in a very old house. I rarely have nightmares.
Well, what's this chick's name?
This is Indira.
Alright. Indira, this is what you gotta do. You gotta go back to that house and go in that small space in the wall with a camera. Show us the picture of the dead bodies.
Yeah, there's probably bodies in
There's
that
a
wall.
lot.
I can almost guarantee right now they were all stabbed to death by that knife in the backyard.
Yeah.
Or they got run over by that.
By the Hot Wheels. By the vintage Hot Wheels. Oh, that's perfect.
That would be the worst death. Like, you just imagine you just hear vroom, vroom,
It's
and
just
you're like
a kid
looking
doing
around
it with his
and
mouth.
it's like a little Hot Wheel on the ground, like revving its engine, and you're like, how cute. And then all of a sudden you just have like the weight of a fucking car on top of you, even though it's just a tiny little Hot Wheel.
It's because it's a gnomish Hot Wheel.
It has 7 times the weight of a normal car.
It's not just a gnomish Hot Wheel though. It's it's like the clown version of a gnome car because it's so tiny.
It's filled with gnomes.
It has like 8 gnomes in it somehow.
And they're all just punching your fucking sternum.
They're all cholos.
Hey,
Hey man, what's your problem?
why you bleeding, Holmes?
Wipe yourself off, man. You're dead.
Gonna go work in the tortilla factory with my mom.
Diamantes!
Diamante!
I killed my brother!
That's probably the best episode.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Walker, Texas
You're
Ranger.
the only cop I respect.
You're the only cop I respect.
This dude wasn't even Mexican.
But I gave my word. That guy gave it 190%.
Yeah, he did.
That guy was hamming it up.
How did he not win every Emmy ever?
Ever.
So, yeah, that's it for this Q&A thing. This is pretty fun. Did you guys like this?
That was great.
Yeah. I
A
thought it
lot of
was pretty
sexual
good.
questions.
A lot of sexual questions. Y'all need to get your motherfucking minds out of the gutter.
Personally.
Because this is a Jesus show. And on this show,
We're both Jesus and 420 friendly.
yeah, we are both Jesus and 420 friendly.
Uh,
And we don't have time unless your sex questions are about abstinence or respecting the Lord. Because
I don't think
those
we
are the
had-
only things that we have time for.
I don't think we had enough sexual questions.
So,
It's because you got that brain slug.
man, I feel like my brain slug's acting up today.
Yeah, I can't come into work today. My brain slug.
I can't come into work today. My arm got decaffeinated. I'll be in work tomorrow.
I can see you. Oh, can you see me now?
No.
No.
I'm dead.
Yeah. So, yeah, send us more of these questions, guys. This shit was fun. Maybe once we have enough people sending in like questions and letters and stuff, we can do like more fan episodes like this. That'd be cool.
Ask me questions that don't require me to remember things from previous episodes.
From previous days of your life.
He's got that chronic amnesia.
I got that chronic amnesia.
Been playing too much.
That'd be a really good
Prometheus.
name for a strain of weed. We got that chronic
What would be-
amnesia.
What would be a good
Chronesia?
name for a strain of weed?
Chronic amnesia.
What would be a good name for a strain of weed?
Amnesia
amnesia.
chronic.
The amnesia chronic.
So what would be a good name for a strain of weed?
Chicken vaginas.
Hitler's stash.
Man's not high.
That would be a good name for a strain of weed. Man's not high.
Man's not hot.
Man's not hot.
You gotta spell it like that. Man's not hot.
It's just the that guy from that video where it's like, hey man, you
Yeah,
stoned?
Big Shaq, the one and only.
Yeah.
Brat.
Bra-
Boom boom.
Ba-beep, ba-ba-boop.
My jacket. My jacket.
Tiddlywinker. Boom.
Quack quack.
I want to get that guy as a ringtone.
Bork.
I found a soundboard, which is just all the noises he makes
Nice.
and all the lines from the song.
Is it an app?
Yeah, it's an app. It's a soundboard, so you can just like
It's
throw it together.
you happen to know what that's
It's literally called like "Man's Not Hot" soundboard, something like that. It's
Skilly-bop.
Big Shaq soundboard. That's it. Big Shaq soundboard. Man's not hot.
It's not
Man's
hot.
not hot.
So yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
Toodles.
Peace. You gonna say bye?
No.
You too cool to say bye?
I'm downloading this.
This
I'm trying to. We're gonna see if it has this thing to say bye with. Hold on.
is the
Oh my
kind of gripping
God.
radio people listen
Okay.
to us for.
Wow, there's so much.
Hold
Hold on.
pop,
Hold on.
quack quack.
It's just one of those days.
How does this work? Is my sound not high enough? Am I not high enough?
I think you just got click it and it plays.
It's not working, dude. Fuck it. Bye.
Fucking bye. Bye. Bye.